Hi, I'm Jason Weaver, and the reason you can't find Waldo is because I found him first.
And I'm Trevor McCarty. I know where Carmen Sandiego is, and I'm legally obligated to stay 500 feet away from her at all times.
And just when I thought I couldn't get any whiter.
Dude, why are we flat?
I'm flat. You've got D-cups.
Teacups?
T-C-U-P. No, that's more Carradine's thing.
Cult of personality!
No blue oysters?
Those only come from New York.
Like the Jets!
I refuse, rebuild, recycle!
You know how much paper this is wasting?
To fooly or coolly. That is a sentence fragment.
Does anyone else miss kites? Naota is a boring child constantly being molested by a boring pyromaniac high school girl in a boring town with a boring factory shaped like a Monopoly item. Until one day, through a wacky case of attempted vehicular manslaughter and battery, he meets a woman who turns his life upside down. From the animation studio that brought you Neon Genesis Evangelion. From the animation studio that brought you Gurren Lagann. Directed by drugs that were on drugs.
Self-proclaimed housekeeper, Haruko Haruhara, finds herself in employment for Naota's dad as thanks for running her Vespa into his offspring's spine and smashing his head with a Rickenbacker and tells Naota in confidence that she is an alien. Then a robot and a giant robot hand burst out of Naota's head and start fighting to the death. You know what? I watch anime. I have no right to expect anything less.
Haruko appears on the scene, solving this problem the only way she knows how, hitting something with her guitar. The robot is now a good guy, lives with Naota, and is mistaken for the patron deity of arson by Mamimi, the high school girl who first faces it with Naota on a regular basis. So when she tries to get her Mac on with the long-lost brother of that announcer from Air Gear, a larger robot bursts out of Naota's head, so the good TV robot eats Naota, turns into a gun, and weakens the other robot enough for Haruko to rock its face off. The good robot is so surprised by this turn of events that he poops out Naota, who now has cat ears, making him perfect to play a cat in his school play opposite his third love interest, if we're counting the alien and the fire starter.
Due to a glitch in the overused Matrix effect, Naota transfers the monster of the week to the only sane-ish character in the show, and Haruko defeats it with the power of diarrhea via terrible curry. A man in black approaches Naota and warns him not to get attached to Haruko, and there are hints that he speaks from personal experience. Deciding to ignore the advice of a closet South Park character, Naota and Haruko bond over baseball lessons and killing his cyborg replacement dad, just as it is revealed that Naota's head is attracting a giant satellite bomb to Earth. The two then head to a tower to try and stop the bomb from impacting the city. How you are no doubt thinking to yourself while simultaneously wondering how I can recite this plot with a straight face. Haruko pulls Naota a guitar of his very own out of a tutu on his head and tells him to hit the bomb back into space by himself.
The bomb turns into a giant baseball, and only after Naota swings his own guitar at the baseball ball does Haruko hop in to assist him. After the business with the space ball, tensions begin to run high between Naota and his dad over Haruko. They begin a pellet gunfight, and long story short, a giant hand in a trench coat is fighting Haruko, who is dressed like a Playboy bunny now, and if you dare to ask why at this point, there is simply no hope for you. Haruko disappears, and Naota is again approached by some eyebrows in a suit, and they tell him that Haruko was trying to make the Space Pirate King appear out of his head because she's in love with him and was only using Naota for his crazy gateway head thing.
Haruko returns, and simply because guys in suits can't be trusted, Naota stops being such a bitter putz and admits that he missed her. So, she offers him the chance to run away with her. It turns out that she was just using Naota all along to do something involving summoning the Pirate King to steal his powers by feeding Naota to a fusion of the TV robot, a giant hand, and a mechanical dog. But Naota reappears, having temporarily attained the Pirate King's powers for himself, and begins fighting against Haruko to the bitter out-of-nowhere kiss. The Pirate King, Atomisk, is released and also apparently a giant space bird. So he leaves presumably to go eat some giant space crackers. Haruko, defeated, decides to take her leave as well, leaving Naota her guitar and an invitation to come with her in a next time that will likely never happen. So we end the series having somehow learned to not grow up too fast and learn to play the guitar I don't know.
Rather than being an interesting character in his own right, Naruto is more a character that just has interesting things happen to him. He's not a bad character, he goes through a few well-handled changes and encapsulates everything about being a disgruntled preteen well. But Naruto's apathetic nature in such extreme circumstances, and being surrounded by characters that handle their roles in said circumstances with more life, leads to a disinterest in him over time.
Nothing amazing.
He's alright.
The hyperactive, ditzy, and secretly diabolical stand-up character of the show, there is a definite method to Haruko's madness. This method just happens to involve sexually teasing young children and wrecking the lives and belongings of those around her. But she pulls this off with such energy that you can't help but hope she never stops.
You're such a drama queen. Figure it out.
You're the one who caused all this!
I don't care. You got it?
To say FLCL is aesthetically and thematically sound would be an enormous understatement. Whether it be the show's animation, use of music, or its characters, every frame of every episode is full of an immeasurable vibrancy and passion that has yet to be surpassed, if even matched. I usually try to judge by a narrative perspective, but that's just not the kind of show FLCL is. So calling it not quite perfect, just kind of excellent, comes from my own personal bias towards shows with a stronger emphasis on the story. It is still very good, it is very abstract, and it is my ringtone.
Fooly Cooly is a fantastic anime that now holds a special place in my heart. The animation is amazing and like candy for your eyes. The action sequences are insane and over the top, but Gainax obviously didn't care. It's what they were going for, and it worked. The music is just pure awesomeness, and I constantly find myself humming along whenever it kicked in. Since I kinda have to have a con, it would be that the show lacks a story. It is sorta there in the last 2 episodes, but makes no sense whatsoever, and feels rushed in a way. But in the end, who cares? I didn't, the show is just cool like that.
Okay, I was cool going along with this to start with, but now I've become quite scared.
Scared, scored, stored, stoned.
Ah!
I'm having fun with this.
You would have fun with this, you... How do you follow me?!
I think I know how to make things go back to normal.
Oh, pray tell.
I'm gonna hit you in the head with a guitar!
I haven't been hit in the head with a guitar nearly enough times for that to seem like a good idea.
Here's one more then!
Hey, it worked. I'll be on the floor if you need me.
Ah! I killed the angry leprechaun child! What do I do? Nice.